Stevie, you're looking at the bench, you're looking at the fly halves, Finn Russell coming on against the nemesis, Morne Steyn as well. How do you see this unfolding? Can it be, you know, has Morne Steyn got it in him? Can Finn Russell come on and be the maverick that we think he is?
Yeah, the bench won the first game for the Lions, and then it won the second game for South Africa. I played against Morne Steyn at under-21s. Ruan Pinar was scrum half. Morne Steyn was out half, and he was just unbelievable, and he's just kept going. I think he's somebody that you can bring off the bench and know that he's going to kick that winning penalty, and that's why I'm surprised that Owen Farrell isn't on the bench for the British and Irish Lions, because Finn Russell, I'm not sure, his kicking accuracy off the tee wouldn't be the world's best, but you can certainly rely on Morne Steyn for that. It's intriguing because these are two completely different players. You know, Morne Steyn showed in the first test that he just kicks the ball and hopes that there are other guys around him can make his tackles. And Finn Russell, he can pull a rabbit out of his hat. No chip kicks. I know I've said it before many a time. That's all well and good doing that in the top 14. But when it comes to international test match rugby at the highest level, you got to be so accurate, or it can cost you 5-7 points off the back of it. So for me, the bench yet again is going to be the winning factor in this match.
Well, when I was in Paris with Finn Russell, he pulled a rabbit out of the glove box of the white Lamborghini, I'm telling you now. So let's hope he can do that. Genuinely, talk about kickers, talk about the South Africa bench with Morne Steyn on there. I mean, they've rolled him out, haven't they, for the third test. They're thinking 2009, they're thinking bringing the 50-year-old out there to kick a penalty. What was that like? Let's just go back, because many people who speak about that tour say that second test is the most physical test match anyone has ever played, anyone who's watched live, and anyone who watched it on TV will remember. I mean, what's it like? And just take us through them moments of Morne Steyn taking that kick in 2009, how it felt.
Well, I was in the changing rooms, my shoulder put back in because I dislocated it, so and then I was in an ambulance to the hospital, so I was, it was, and I think myself, Gethin, Tommy Bowe, Jamie Roberts, Brian O'Driscoll, I think it was someone else as well. There was 6 of us coming back in an ambulance, so it was,
Must have been a pretty big ambulance.
Well done. No, it was, they're obviously physical in there, and you know it's going to come, and but the 09 test, I don't, like Charles, your former teammate in Sarries, probably shouldn't have been on the field after gouging Fitzgerald in 2 minutes, but it's different. It's a bit different then. It was, you know, the crowd was there. You're in Loftus. It's the atmosphere. You know, you're driving in the bus and they're, you know, throwing stuff at the bus and giving you the 2 fingers and the middle finger. So it's, but I think we can beat them. They're not unbeatable. They're not the All Blacks who are like. I just think we have to get. We can't. It's fair. So you can't go slinging the ball around. We're not, because their defence is so good. That's not going to help. So we have to be cute around them. And I think hopefully Gats has picked the right team, which we'll find out on Sunday, but or Saturday. But it worries me how dominant they were second half when that's the one. Vincent Koch came on, who has been playing the championship for the best part of 18 months, and you know has been okay. And he comes on and destroys the Lions scrum like that. That worries me a little bit. And 3 points, 6 points is massive in this arena.
It is. I tell you what worries me, and I feel awful saying it, and Goody's been getting stuck into me and a few other people. I suppose it doesn't worry me. It's around Alun Wyn Jones, right? And it's easy for me to sit here and say, he's past it, should he have went, dislocated shoulder, he's come back on, all the hysteria around him. Like, I'm one of the guys that is constantly asking questions, and that's because I uppercutted him in a game once you didn't even flinch. I actually broke my hand doing it, so I've got a bit of resentment towards him, but I haven't really. I've got the ultimate respect for the guy. But there has to be questions around, when you look at the age profile of players and you look at players in their position, like, I'm looking at it in a very superficial. You'll think about it in a very emotional way because you've played with him and you know the importance of what he does as a leader. What is he like? Why is he so important to this team?
I don't. The first test, I thought he was excellent, and I told you, and obviously Etzebeth and De Jager and Mozart, second test, they were, you know, they got the upper hand in this, let's be fair. But I don't see how there's any of those players are better than him. As in Henderson, Hill, Adam Beard. Like, the leadership he will bring to that team, there's not much there. You know, Ken's there, but you know, it's not, apart from that, there's not a great. So he's so key to that. And I know he's done. So much been said about him coming back from injury or whatnot, and you know, and if you know him, and he's very much like that. But I think he'll come to the occasion where he'll get to a level. You know, I told you he wasn't as good in the second test as he was in the first test, was he? So no. Knowing him, he'll get himself to a level where it's probably going to be his last Lions test match, his 12th Lions test match, and I think we'll see a different performance from him.
And he sat and he chatted to me for half an hour about how much he loved the country, how much he wanted to see them do well. And I think by him putting out that video, he genuinely wants things to turn around and he wants them to get the 50-50 calls. And it worked. So for me, it's I wouldn't have done it, but it's Rassie Erasmus, and he's a box of tricks, isn't he? You don't know what's coming next.
He absolutely is, and he's a box of messages as well. Because Goode, you did an article for RugbyPass, and within 3 minutes of it being published live, and Rassie was mentioning it, he texted you, didn't he? And I've seen the text. I'm telling you now, it's true.
He did, and he basically thanked me just for being level-bellied. Level-bellied or level-headed? I can't work out. He did actually say, thanks for just being level-headed, because I just put out there what he's actually saying. A lot of it was the truth, I thought, and it was educational to fans and players and some coaches. And he's basically doing it for an impact on the referees. Now, I felt very privileged that he messaged me, and I tried to get him on the podcast, and he said no because Jim's a twat, so he's not coming on.
Well, no, what he did say is I said that he was bitter. I said it was genius and bitter, and then he didn't reply to me again.
Yeah, but in reality, the fact that we've been talking in the build-up to the first 2 tests about these things, it's been quite exciting. Listen, everyone's been locked up for 18 months. There's no other rugby on until this weekend. I know we get the Bledisloe Cup at the weekend and all that stuff, but the talking points in the week have given us something to talk about. And Warren Gatland's put a little jibe out this week, hasn't he? He's kind of said that maybe the Springboks have played their kind of cup final last week. Their emotions, it's very difficult to get back up to that level. So he's set a challenge out for them there. He did it to England and Eddie Jones at the World Cup. After England dominated New Zealand, Warren Gatland said in the press, maybe England have played their cup final, and then Eddie Jones said to Warren Gatland, good luck in the 3rd and 4th place playoff. So Gats knows what he's doing, and he's right with a lot of things that he does, but we love the controversy. We love coaches having a bit of an attitude and want to get out in the press and talk about things, because it gives us things to debate.
Around South Africa's bench that came on, Lou de Jager just being one of them, made a huge difference. What do you see when you look at the 2 benches comparable? We're going to talk about the head-to-heads later, but it actually stacks, in my opinion, in favour of the Lions this week.
Yeah, I think when you compare the first test to the second test, I think the Springboks got it slightly wrong with how early they made the substitutions. I think a couple of them were because of injury, but you talk about the impact that the Lions boys had off the bench in the first test, and Mako came on and did really well, and those guys. Second test, it was a flip reverse, wasn't it? Nyakani comes off the bench and dominates the scrum. Mostert comes on and gives them that big lift in a line out and second row. And you're looking at the bench now. Mako's brilliant off the bench because he comes on, he shores up a scrum, but also his work rate around the field is good. Carl Sinclair, did he have a nibble? Didn't he have a nibble? I don't think so. He got away with it. He's a ball of energy off the bench as well. So actually, it could be advantage British and Irish Lions off the bench this week because Morne Steyn's playing 10, and if he comes on, Lions are winning.